The narrative that Terrence "Bud" Crawford hasn't faced a true legend in boxing has been one that has followed him around for years. But tonight, September 28th, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, Crawford silenced those people forever. Crawford made Canelo Alvarez quit in the 11th round, sending the Mexican superstar back to the drawing board for the first time since 2013. Crawford dominated Canelo over the course of 10 one-sided rounds before putting the final touches on the most impressive victory of his career. Crawford proved to the world that he is not just great, but is in fact historic. Crawford improved to 40-0 with 31 KOs, while Canelo falls to 59-2 with 39 KOs. In defeat, Canelo suffered his first loss since suffering a majority decision setback against Floyd Mayweather in 2018. Here is what went down in Las Vegas. The atmosphere inside the MGM Grand was electric from the opening bell to the final buzzer. The energy inside the arena was unmatched. It didn't matter whether you were a fan of Crawford or Canelo. All in attendance were in for an exciting night of boxing. Crawford came out aggressive and stalked Canelo around the ring. Canelo seemed uncomfortable early on and was unable to find his range. He was also fighting off of his back foot for the majority of the early going. Crawford had success early on with his jab and was able to push Canelo up against the ropes on several occasions. And although Canelo was able to weather the early storm, there is no doubt that Crawford came out swinging in the first. Many observers had Crawford winning the first round. Round 2 got off to a slow start, and neither fighter seemed willing to take any risks early on. Crawford continued to stalk Canelo around the ring, but this time he did so at a slower pace. It wasn't until late in the second when things started to pick up. With about 15 seconds left in the round, both fighters exchanged combinations. It was a back-and-forth affair, and each man landed solid shots. The crowd was on their feet, and the momentum was definitely shifting in favor of Canelo. As the bell rang to end the round, both fighters came back to center ring and stared each other down. It was clear that they were both feeling each other out, and neither wanted to make a mistake. The second round could have gone to either fighter. Round 3 was much of the same. Neither fighter was willing to press the action, which made for a slow-paced round. It wasn't until midway through the third when Crawford started to land some solid combinations. Canelo was still landing some good shots of his own, but Crawford appeared to be the busier of the two. Crawford's jab was especially effective in the third, and he was able to land it at will. The third round could have gone to Crawford, or even been a draw. As the fight wore on, it became more apparent that Canelo was having trouble dealing with Crawford's size and reach advantage. Crawford was able to use his jab to keep Canelo at bay, and he was able to land some solid combinations when Canelo came in close. Canelo was trying to work his way inside and get close to Crawford, but he was having trouble getting past Crawford's jab. Crawford's jab was quick and accurate, and he was able to land it at will. Canelo was frustrated, and he started to get more and more aggressive as the fight wore on. However, his aggression was only making him more reckless, and he was leaving himself open to some big shots from Crawford. Crawford was starting to take control of the fight, and he was looking more and more confident as the rounds wore on. By the 10th round, Crawford had established his dominance, and he was looking to finish the fight. He came out swinging in the 10th, and he rocked Canelo with a combination. Canelo was hurt, and he was in trouble. Crawford smelled blood, and he went in for the kill. He landed a flurry of punches, and Canelo was in serious trouble. The referee was right there, and he could have stopped the fight right then and there. But for some reason, he let the fight continue. Canelo was able to make it to the bell, but he was clearly outclassed and outmatched. Crawford had won the fight, and he had done it in convincing fashion. In between rounds, Canelo's trainer, Eddie Reynolds, told him that he couldn't go on. He said that his eye was completely shut and that he couldn't see out of it. Canelo argued with his trainer, but ultimately, he had to listen. It was clear that he was outclassed and outmatched. Crawford had won the fight, and he had done it in convincing fashion. As the 11th round got underway, it was clear that Canelo was not the same fighter who had stepped into the ring in the first round. He was sluggish, and he was not able to keep up with Crawford's speed. Crawford continued to press the action, and he landed a combination that sent Canelo crashing to the canvas. Canelo was hurt badly, and he was in trouble. Crawford smelled blood, and he went in for the kill. He landed a flurry of punches, and Canelo was in serious trouble. The referee stopped the fight, and he saved Canelo from further damage. The official time of the stoppage was 1 minute and 21 seconds of the 11th round. As the crowd erupted in cheers, Crawford raised his arms in victory. He had just defeated one of the best fighters in the world, and he had done it in convincing fashion. In defeat, Canelo suffered his first loss since suffering a majority decision setback against Floyd Mayweather in 2018. There is no doubt that Crawford is the new king of boxing. In defeating Canelo, Crawford has proven that he is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He is a true legend in the making, and he has cemented his name in boxing history. The image of Canelo sitting on his stool, refusing to come out for the 12th round, will forever haunt fans and historians alike. Crawford, on the other hand, will go down in history as the man who dethroned Canelo and ended his reign as pound-for-pound king. Crawford's stock has skyrocketed since he made the move to Las Vegas. He is now arguably the most popular fighter in the world, and he is the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He has defeated all of the top fighters in his division, and he has done it in convincing fashion. Crawford is not just a great fighter, he is a historic fighter. He is a fighter who will be remembered for years to come. The silence of the crowd said it all. A new king has been crowned. Here are the official results from Saturday's event. Terence "Bud" Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez by TKO in the 11th round to retain the WBC, WBO, WBA and IBF welterweight titles. In the co-main event, Austin "Ammo" Williams defeats former world champion and local favorite Gabriel "Guti" Rosado by knockout in the 3rd round. Super lightweight Mario Barrios defeats Joet Gonzalez by unanimous decision. Welterweight Subriel Matias defeats Michael Williams by knockout in the 1st round. Super middleweight Diego De La Hoya defeats Imanol Reyes by knockout in the 2nd round. Featherweight Hector Tanajara defeats William Zepeda by unanimous decision. Junior lightweight Raymond Muratalla defeats Jose "Chon" Aguero by unanimous decision. Lightweight Alexis Espino defeats Jared "Big Baby" Davis by knockout in the 1st round. Middleweight Xander Zayas defeats Giovanni El Gallo Soto by knockout in the 6th round. Super bantamweight Aaron Magdon defeats Leonardo Baez by technical decision after Baez failed to make weight. That concludes our live coverage of Crawford versus Canelo. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check back soon for all of your boxing news and results. We'll catch you next time.